We have a farm bill in the United States. Every year, taxpayers subsidize with tens of billions of dollars commodities crops. In effect, we are lowering the price of factory farmed animal products, high fructose corn syrup, Wonder Bread. Twinkies has 14 subsidized ingredients. We think we have a free market economy. We think Whole Foods take your whole paycheck. Well, guess what, folks? There are forces at play that are fueling this, that are essentially condemning the poor to nutritional disasters by subsidizing the wrong stuff instead of the right stuff. Less than 2% of our subsidies go to fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, the foods we know we should be eating more of. Now, we could argue all day long about whether government intervention is good or bad. We could argue all day long about who should pay for health care. But bottom line is, we will continue to spend a fortune, we will continue to destroy lives, and we will continue to have an abject, sick, miserable population as long as our government is firmly on the wrong side of history. So we need to make a change. Who's in? All right. So how do we make a change? Of course, it starts with our knives and forks and what we eat. But we can do more than that. We can become an advocate. We can become spokespeople. Obviously, you can meet with representatives and political leaders and say, hey, how about if we direct taxpayer money to good stuff? What about if instead of subsidizing Wonder Bread, we subsidize healthy foods? What about Wholesome Wave? We have a food stamp program, SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program in America. Tens of millions of people depend on it to eat. Did you know that there is a program called Wholesome Wave? It's now reaching 500,000 Americans. And with it, they get double value for fruits and vegetables. Well, guess what? When people get double value for fruits and vegetables, they eat more fruits and vegetables, and they get healthier. This leads to less emergency room visits. It brings down the cost of health care. It's good for the economy. It's good for our whole society. So at this moment, it's a cooperative effort. The government allows it, but the money is coming from private fundraising. That could change. Maybe not in the current administration, but it could change. Because there's no reason why we, the people, can't create a system that actually empowers the health of the people. So that's one thing that I find inspiring. Community gardens is another. We find that when children are involved in growing food, they're more likely to eat that same food. If you want children to eat vegetables, help them grow some vegetables. School gardens, community gardens are popping up. In the city of Detroit, where 10 years ago the median home sale price was $20,000, it's a city that's been racked by economic challenges and massive unemployment. But what started happening was that community gardens started popping up. There was a lot of vacant lots. There were a lot of unemployed people. So unemployed people started joining with vacant lots and creating gardens. Detroit is now the community gardening capital of America. There are more than 1,000 community gardens in Detroit city limits. Sometimes people respond to adversity with creative answers. Ron Finley did that in Los Angeles, South Central LA. He said it's easier to get crack cocaine than an organic banana in his community. But he decided to do something about it. He said the drive-thrus are killing more people than the drive-bys. So he started a garden on the median out in front of his house. And he said it was free. Anybody walking by can eat the food. It's a kind of creative idea. The city of Los Angeles, turns out, had an ordinance that said it was illegal to grow anything other than grass in the medians out in front of houses. So they sued him, threatened him with jail time for growing food for the community. Well, fortunately, he fought back. Ron was no slouch when it came to fighting for what was right. And he won, and he passed a new ordinance that changed the laws and said it was legal for him to do that. Short time later, as he became a national news story for his work as what he called himself the gangsta gardener, he gave a TED Talk that got seen by like 6 million people telling his story. Then his landlord decided they wanted to put in a apartment complex where his house was. So they gave him eviction notice. Well, Ron spread the word. People started raising money for the Ron Finley Project to be able to buy that property, which they did, so it's now owned by his nonprofit. And now they've converted the entire backyard. It's not an apartment complex. It's a huge community garden. And he's growing all kinds of food, and anybody can come. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, there are homeless folks sneaking in there and grabbing a tomato. And he'll shout out through the window, "Hey, man, it's cool. Take your time. Enjoy." Because that's what it's for, to share healthy food with the community. And more people are jumping in to help in growing that food. So I think community gardens are one of the examples of hope. I think farmers markets, I think community-supported agriculture programs where you buy food direct from farmers are another. I think the spread of natural food stores is another. I think that more and more people care where food comes from, how it was produced, what went into it, how it affects us, and how it affects our planet. And the world is changing. Sales of organic food have quadrupled in the last generation. Sales of natural food, as unpoliced as it is, as random as it is, there's a lot of things that are called natural because it's cool. Because people all over the world are fed up with toxic food and hungry for a change. And we get to be a part of that, which I think is pretty awesome.